Most of us don't really think about apple juice. It's just always there at breakfast, in your kids' lunchbox, at hotels, cafes, school cafeterias. It's so common, it's almost invisible. But here's the thing, the process of turning a fresh apple into that smooth, sweet drink in your glass is actually fascinating and way more technical than you might imagine. Let's start at the beginning. Picture an apple orchard, maybe in Washington State or upstate New York or even in Europe. The trees are full, the air smells like fall, and workers are hand-picking apples that are ripe but still firm. These apples aren't just picked randomly. There's real science behind the timing. Too early and the apples won't have developed enough sugar. Too late and they'll be too soft to process. Once picked, the apples are taken by truck to a juice processing facility. This is where the transformation begins. First up is cleaning. The apples are dumped into a large tank filled with cold water, sort of like a giant sink. This is known as the flotation wash. It's clever. Dirt, twigs, and leaves float to the top, while stones, clumps of soil, and other heavy debris sink to the bottom. Workers monitor this stage closely, and any apples that are too bruised or rotten are pulled out before moving forward. Now the apples begin to roll gently through the cleaning tunnel. The bottom of the tank is lined with rotating brushes that scrub the skin of every apple. Multiple jets spray fresh water from all directions, making sure the apples are spotless. This isn't just about aesthetics. Clean fruit reduces bacteria and makes for better quality juice. In fact, some facilities even test water purity levels several times a day to keep standards high. Next comes sorting. Apples are sorted by size and quality. Big, shiny, unblemished apples, they're set aside for grocery stores. These are the ones you'll find sold by the pound or neatly displayed in fruit bowls. But the smaller apples, or ones with surface blemishes and are still perfectly healthy, are sent to be juiced. This is a great example of zero waste. If it's good inside, it's used. Now comes one of the coolest parts, crushing. The apples head into a massive machine where they're mashed into pulp. We're talking peel, seeds, core, the whole thing. Why? Because a lot of the flavor and nutrients are actually in the skin and just under it. Crushing everything ensures maximum juice extraction. The pulp is then pumped into a juicing system, usually a press with giant rollers or hydraulic plates that squeeze the pulp slowly but firmly. The juice flows out through fine mesh screens that catch the bigger solids. At this point, what you have is raw apple juice, cloudy, thick, and very strong in flavor. It's unfiltered, and depending on the apple variety, it can be sweet, tangy, or even a bit tart. From here, the juice goes through a series of filters to remove unwanted solids and smooth out the texture. Some producers like to leave a bit of pulp in for that natural look and taste. Others aim for a clear, golden appearance. This depends on the market and the customer. In North America, clear juice is more common. In parts of Europe, cloudy juice, often labeled unfiltered or from pressed apples, is considered more natural. Now, one important step before bottling is pasteurization. This is where the juice is gently heated, just enough to kill bacteria and enzymes that would otherwise spoil the juice over time. It's not boiling, but it's warm enough to make it shelf stable. This process was invented by Louis Pasteur in the 1800s and revolutionized food safety. Without it, apple juice would only last a few days. Next, we move on to bottling. Clean, empty bottles roll into place on a conveyor belt. They're filled with juice, often to the point of overflowing. This isn't a mistake, it's intentional. By filling the bottle to the top, you push out any air, which helps prevent oxidation and keeps the juice fresh longer. Oxygen is juice's worst enemy. It dulls flavor and speeds up spoilage. Then the bottles are capped automatically, so either with twist caps or snap-on lids, depending on the product. Right after that, they get a cold water spray. This does two things. It cools the juice quickly after pasteurization, and it rinses off any drips from the filling process. Finally, each bottle gets labeled and packed, ready to hit shelves around the world. But let's zoom out for a minute, because apple juice has a deeper history than most people realize. Apples themselves go way back. They've been cultivated by humans for thousands of years. The first apple trees are believed to have grown in Central Asia, in what is now Kazakhstan. In fact, the city of Almaty, which literally means place of apples, is often called the birthplace of the modern apple. As for apple juice, the earliest versions were probably unfiltered ciders, cloudy fermented drinks used for hydration and nutrition before clean water was widely available. In colonial America, cider was often safer to drink than water, and children were given small servings diluted with water. But pasteurized, bottled apple juice as we know it didn't take off until the 20th century. In the United States, apple juice became especially popular during Prohibition in the 1920s, when hard cider was banned. Producers shifted to sweet, non-alcoholic juice and found a new market: families, schools, hospitals. And with improvements in pasteurization, bottling, and refrigeration, apple juice became a staple. Today, the US, China, and Poland are the top producers of apples and apple juice. And believe it or not, a lot of apple juice sold in grocery stores isn't made from whole apples anymore. It's made from apple juice concentrate. That's where the water is removed during processing, and the concentrate is shipped and later rehydrated for bottling. This reduces shipping costs and shelf space. But if you check the label closely, you'll usually see the words "from concentrate" or "not from concentrate." So next time you pour yourself a glass of apple juice, take a second to think about everything that went into it. The trees, the timing of the harvest, the machinery, the filtration, the temperature control. It's a blend of agriculture, chemistry, and good old-fashioned hard work. And that right there is the story of apple juice from orchard to bottle.